What's going on? In this video, I want to talk about one of the biggest lessons that I learned from my second relationship that some people just don't even need to necessarily go through a relationship to learn, but just in general, and that's people make time for the things that they want. Now, as a preface to this video, I want to just go ahead and be clear that I have no issues with anyone that's referenced in this video. Like, it's all love, you know. A lot of people, they like hate their exes, but I can never say that I never will. You know, my first relationship put me in the dirt. You know, like I was depressed, I was drinking myself to sleep on weekends, like it was a bad time, you know. But if that event hadn't happened in my life, I wouldn't have been able to grow so much. You know, we learn from some of the hardest lessons, you know. So every time, if hopefully I never have to go through a third relationship that ended badly, but you know, if I have to go through another relationship, like I'm not going to hate that person because she came into my life to teach me a lesson. And sometimes some people need more and more heartbreak after heartbreak after heartbreak after heartbreak before they finally start to learn things. One of the things that I've implemented in myself is I will never make the same mistake twice. Never. Now, I'm not talking about the little mistakes that life just puts in your way, like oops, little trip ups here and there. I mean, like I will never make a huge fuck up more than once. Like I'll never, like I said, okay, if I did that, oof, we're not gonna do that again. So to put everything in perspective, like I still have nothing but love, and like, I still love the girl from my second relationship. I really do. But you know, time only moves forward, and if you're not gonna move forward with me, then hey, it is what it is. But so in the beginning of this relationship, like when she met me, like when we began our relationship, I was like still kind of recovering from my first one. Like I said before, my first relationship put me in the dirt. You know, like it left me feeling like whatever I did wouldn't be good enough. It made me question the way I looked in my own skin, how I felt in my own skin. Like, oh man, I must not look as good as I thought I did. My parents must be lying to me, saying I'm just handsome and whatever. But you know, it was just, once again, all that was coming from me. Even the girl that hurt me didn't even say all that. It was her issues, but I took them on as my own personal failure. So I was kind of dealing with that, and then like the one solid year or two after that relationship, like where I was single for a while, you know, I was feeling like I was doing better. I was feeling like I was coming to terms and like reestablishing my confidence in myself, you know. But I was still sensitive, and I still believed very much in like the zodiacs, or what was it, the what's the word for it, like the horoscopes. There's a big old truck driving by me right now, but like the horoscopes, where they say like, oh, like if you're an Aries, you're gonna do this. If you are a Leo, you act like this. If you're a Cancer, which I am, like Gemini, Cancer cusp, but people will care about that type of stuff still. Then then you act like this. And one of the things that I said about Cancers is like, you are a very hard lover. You know, it's like it's very hard for you to like move forward from things. Like, you know, like if there's a relationship, you're going to be a slow person to recover from it. And it's true, but this is also because I believed what these things were saying about me, you know. So I was recovering from that. And I was just learning about visualization and manifestation and stuff. So I was trying to manifest a new girlfriend, you know, like it's like I was tired of being alone all the time. And it ended up happening, and we had like our conversation, boom, 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 we're dating now. Cool. So her and I had like, you know, history. Like we basically grew up together. I didn't even realize how often she was around me because, you know, back in the day when you're a little boy, girls have cooties. So I didn't really care about y'all. Like, can you play basketball or video games? No, then why are you here? You know, little kid logic. So, but like, you know, it was really cool to find out like how closely aligned our lives were this entire time. And like, we both were pretty much in the mindset of, you know, like this is it. You know, most beginning relationships start off like that, but when you see how closely like connected we had been without knowing it, it was just like, dang, dude, you know, like maybe this is something a little bit more than just a random little meetup or a little, you know, something, a little quick little life fling or whatever. So, you know, we were dating and stuff, and what happened was the old wounds from my last relationship were kind of open. That was kind of like getting a wound in war, but you kind of run through it and they open back up. It was kind of like that, because it was weird. Like any grown man would be like, dog, what is wrong with you? But once again, young, I had to learn. This is only my second relationship ever. So when she looked at me, it was pure love, like love, admiration. Like she glowed by the love that she like had for me. That's how much she glowed. When I saw it, I could see it like it was night and day. Like I could see it. And one of my old wounds was, like I just said, I didn't feel good enough. I didn't feel deserving of this treatment because I was still having my own self-doubts and stuff. And it always made me feel so like good that, yes, I'm glad you love me this much, but bad because I was just like, you're sending all this love to the wrong person. Like I have so many things. I'm not where I want to be in life. My knee is messed up. Like my standards is mind, body, and spirit. I need that for any girl I plan on dating. You can be cute, but if you can't talk or you can't think or you have no guiding principle for your life, then what are we gonna have to talk about? You know what I mean? So I'm not sure. I think that came like in the middle of this part. Like it's always been something I looked for, but now it's very cemented in me. So there was that. But the second one was kind of like, it doesn't have more or less importance. It's just right there with it. Is I was going through the beginning stages of my spiritual awakening. I began having this feeling in my chest, like nothing bad, nothing like call life alert now, press the little button so people can come help me. Nah, it was like, it felt like a power that was just like starting to slowly swirl in my chest. It felt like a power, but I didn't know what it was at the time. I was like, yo, what is this? And it was like, it was driving me crazy because I knew it was something good. I knew it was a power, but I just couldn't figure it out. I didn't know the right words. I didn't know, like, I didn't know what it was. This is completely new for me, because I knew it wasn't like anything medical. I've always been kind of spiritual, but I knew this was a spiritual thing that I had to figure out. So I started like nose diving into it and just learning everything I could. And while I was doing this, everything that wasn't spiritual became a distraction. Every single thing. My parents called me distraction. My grandma called me distraction. Job, of course, distraction. My girl calling me now and Skyping me and all this type of stuff. Distraction, distraction, distraction. I was just like, I just want to be alone. I wanted to like disconnect from the world. I wanted to disconnect from the world. And it just felt like everything was just distracting me. So I was just like, man, look, leave me alone, pretty much. Like in my head, it was like, leave me alone. I want to be alone. I need to figure this out. So what ended up happening is like, I broke up with her to basically just go be alone. But then, with the past, like, like self depreciation that I was going through, it was just like, just leave me alone, go find somebody better. I'm not what you think I am, stupid stuff. Hey, you have a perfect girl, you send her on her way. Amazing. But it is what it is. You learn. So it took me about a month and I eventually figured it out. That's what was like the true manifestation. We are the God that we're praying up to into the sky. We are the energy. We are the beacons, the receivers of all this energetic stuff. Nothing happens on accident. And I was like, oh, okay, I get it. So now that I finally got to I didn't get all my answers, but I was finally in a place where I was stable. Now I was like, I'm good. Let me go see if I can fix that thing I fucked up. So this is kind of like what starts to lead us towards the moral of this story. So, I tell her about like, what was going on with me, and it didn't seem like it was connecting with her. Of course, and once again, I take full responsibility for my actions during this time period. There's nothing, she honestly did nothing wrong. It's like at the end part where I just started to grow from the situations, but I'll get to it. So we had our talks, like, we'd have heavy talks. We're both tearing up. We both, like getting emotional and stuff, and like, it would be cool. And then there'd be days we're just calm, we're just hanging out, talking like good old, same old, same old. And then, it was like, okay, well, we're doing pretty good. So like, are we good now? And it was like, it's like, I'm not saying yes, I'm not saying no. I just want to take things slow. Cool. Perfectly fair, answer. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, I understand you're hurt. You don't want to jump back into it. Cool. But then, we'd have more talks. more times, but then she started to just become distant, distant, distant. And if you see my other relationship video, or like other video where I reference my relationship, I know what distant, distant, distant means. You know what I mean? And like she'd always say like, oh, I'm just busy with school, blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, oh, you busy now when you used to call me walking to and from class. You call me in between classes. You call me at this and that. And when you were blah, 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 blah. It's like, so don't say you're busy. Like, it annoyed me, but once again, I was taking my shots. Like, I was taking those hits because I am the one that caused these situations. Like, I caused all of this to transpire. So, okay, I could take my L. But then it started like, it started getting a little dragged out where it was just like, all right, like, what the hell? You're telling my parents one thing, but then you're telling me something completely different. Oh, I still love him, blah, blah, blah. And you talk to me and you ain't got shit to say. So it started to make me think, like, where am I putting my energy to? Is it worth this fight? So, like, and by fight, I mean, like, fighting for something that you think that you want. So, when I was, I asked myself this question, I was doing some real soul searching, but I backed off for like a solid month or two. Like, I was just like, you know what? Let me get myself together. Let me get all my thoughts in order so I can do one final, like, hey, what's good? So, but let me just back off for a little bit. So in this month, once again, I learned quickly. This is what I do. And I completely reinvented myself. Completely. I remember that day I was sitting in the middle of my floor and I literally didn't leave that floor for a full, like, solid 16 hours. Like, I just sat there and I literally went through everything I could think of in my mind. I literally questioned if my parents needed to stay in my life. I mean, this is how deep I went. Of course, my parents are there, love y'all, but like, but I had to ask myself these questions. Are my parents beneficial to my end goal of me becoming the greatest person I can be? Yes or no? Yes, cool. Family, yes, no, boom. My feelings towards this, yes, no, boom. And I just kept asking myself these questions. And then I was like, okay, there's some things I want to learn. So I started watching influential men, or like, even rappers I liked, and just took a piece of their energy and just made it my own. Though that's something that was very important. I had to make it my own. A lot of people that just copy someone, but it's like you copy somebody else's swag. You don't need to do that. You're your own person. Make it your own. So in this month or two, I completely reinvented myself. I am indeed a new man. Of course, I'm only in my 20s. I have stuff to learn. I have stuff to better myself on. There's stuff I don't even know that I don't know. And I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. But at least I'm in a place now where it's like, all right, my morals are set. My code is established. So anyone else trying to enter my life, male, female, friend, friend, a situationship, an entanglement, as Will Smith is trying to, is now getting joked about, whatever happens, you have to be at a certain standard, because I will not tolerate anything less than what I have set for myself. So with this new me, I wanted to say, all right, cool. I'm this new me. Let me see if this works for her. So I went to her and I was like, hey, look, I'm the new me, blah, 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 blah. Now I understand the casual person, they will hear that and they'll be like, I've heard that before, the new me. And then that dude or that woman will go and do the same stupid stuff that caused the situation in the first place. But I was hoping that my transparency and honesty leading all the way up to this was, was taken into consideration. So like, I was like, hey, look, I'm a new me. I have reinvented myself. I calm myself down. What do you want to do? And once again, no solid answer, no yes or no. It was just like, so I was just like, all right, like, the only reason I'm giving you this chance is because I know what I did, and I know I'm the one that caused this. But I slowly stopped, I stopped feeding that. But then I asked myself one last time, is this energy I need to keep sending out? I believe in reciprocity. If I do something for you, I expect the same in return. If I treat you with respect, I expect respect return. If I'm giving you clarity, openness, upfront, direct answers, I expect the same in return. So one more day, I was sitting at the lake. One of the typical like little parks I go to has a lake, and I just go out there and just chill and just zone out for a little bit. And I asked myself, is this new me, is all this energy worth it? Is this going to pay off? And my new connection with God, the energy source, wherever you choose to call it, in me, gave me an answer that same instant. I was watching a video about dopamine fasting, and I'll probably make a video about that at some point. But it was pretty much it pretty much saying how we're in this overstimulated world, and it was completely unrelated to relationships or anything. But they said it takes about 2.5 seconds to send a text to someone, like a typical simple text, nothing thought-provoking, nothing crazy, just like, hey, what's up, blah, blah, blah. It takes about 2.5 seconds. So that made me think. I was like, damn, 2.5 seconds? Hold on. And I Googled it. And what ended up coming up was this image, and it was a quote. And it said, it takes 2.5 seconds, 2.5 seconds to send a simple text. If I'm not worth 2.5 seconds of your life, you don't deserve to be in my life. Now, at the time, I wasn't quite ready to accept that because I'm a fighter. You know, if there's something I want, I don't stop until I get it, or there's like no other way. There's like my gas is out. Like, you know, it's just like either I succeeded or I failed. And either I regroup and try again, or it's like, all right, cool, let me put my energy somewhere else. So I wasn't ready. I was still in the fight. So I wasn't ready to hear that, but it never left my head. And, you know, the same old behavior continued, where it was like, oh, I just been busy with school, blah, 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 blah. So it got to the point, I got to the end of my rope. And I was like, look, I need a yes or a no from you. I'm going to give you a week. This ain't no ultimatum. This isn't anything like that. I'm not threatening you with nothing. It's just like, look, I need an answer. Because I've literally tried to do everything to explain to you, and nothing is happening. You know, like, what's going on? Nothing is, like, I feel like we're just going in this tiny little circle. I make big strides in my life. We're doing this. We're just doing these tiny little circles where it's like, we have ups, then you ignore me for a week. We have ups when you ignore me for 2 weeks. And you're always busy. You're always busy. It's like, so you ain't been back and forth. You didn't make that 4-hour, 5-hour, however long drive. You couldn't just call me while you were driving. Come on, dog. It's like you tell my parents you love me, but then you kind of treat me in the opposite direction, like I'm just a regular dude. So it's like, hey, if I'm a regular dude, let me go be regular, but let me know, you know? So I gave her the time limit. Then when the time was over, like, she just basically said, go on. And I was like, is that a yes or a no? She would not say yes or no. It still bothers me, but pretty much it was a no. So I was like, all right, you know, fuck it. It's like, if you want to reconvene with me, you're going to have to deal with the new me that I was trying to show you. You know, I was trying to like let you into and say, look, this is what I did. Now it's like, this is who I am now. Deal with it. You know, once again, I'm not bashing her in any type of way, because she taught me a lot of things. People make time for the things that they want. Now, aside from her and just moving on to just, you know, teaching side of things. If you are chasing a guy or a girl, you're the one texting them, you're the one calling them, you're the one on all their social media, you're doing all this type of stuff, and they're not hitting you back up, they don't want you there. People that want you there will make efforts to make you a part of their lives, you know. And I had to compare it to her. I got my boy Alex, love him to death. That's my white boy, love you. You know, he's like, you know, he's trying to make it to the executive level in his company. He's trying to make it big. You know what I'm saying? He's working like some 50, 60-hour weeks sometimes. He's always hustling. He's doing what he got to do. We have deep talks about how to get to that next level. Me, it's spiritual. Him, it's like the next level in the workplace. Cool, whatever floats your boat. And he has time to call me, text me, you know, sit on the gaming chats and whatever and talk. You know, my other friend from school, she has like her Pilates thing. She, you know, has horseback riding. She has her own little business thing. She has time to hit me up from time to time. My girl Keish here, love her to death. Like, she's my little business lady. Like, I love her. She's always doing something. She's working 2-3 different jobs. She's starting up her own little business. She's doing all these things. She's planning. She has time to hit me up. And you telling me all these people got all this crazy stuff going on in their lives, but you couldn't hit me up for a simple, like, how do you do? You see what I'm saying? These people make time for me in their lives, and they're not even in a romantic relationship with me, and they make time for me. I'm trying to like show you something you ain't. Hey, it is what it is. And that's what some people need to become aware of. These people don't want you in their lives. You know, they would make the effort. And that's something that a lot of people, they learn very slowly. Like me, I learned slowly. But now that I've learned it, I see people going through it. You know, people are getting this false sense of attention. You know, once again, no hate towards like OnlyFans girls and couples that are doing what they do. Hey, make your money. I ain't hating on you. But, you know, there's the people that will do all this extra stuff and spend all this time and have subscriptions for attention. Like, go be your own person. Go be yourself. Go make yourself a better person for the next person. And some people say they want to flex on their ex. I'm not necessarily saying that, because she could easily become another like a part of my life again. But it's like, hey, if that's your motivation, go flex. So how you gotta flex? You gotta better yourself. You gotta keep yourself moving forward. You gotta keep going and keep building yourself up. So when she tries to get back with you, you can be like, oh, you still down there? It's like now it's up to you. You have the power now. Do I lift you back up to my level, or do I just let you sit down there? It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So, moral of the story is people will make time for the things that they want. You know, people want to, if they want to have the little booty calls and stuff, they gonna make the call. If a job wants you, they call you, they email you saying we are interested in you. You see what I'm saying? If they don't want you, they probably gonna ignore you. That's simple. Stop sending all of your energy to people that don't want to be in your life. It's that simple. Took me a while to learn that, but that's why I'm thankful for the relationship. She taught me something. And I feel like that's also something else that people should adapt. Don't hate your exes. Learn from the experience. But with that, I'm out. Take care.